This is the 8 castle tutorial. Something that needs to be noted before you start doing runs is that this level needs to be practiced a lot. It's a relatively decent level. It's like average in difficulty. It's not too hard, but it's not too easy either. But what makes 8 castle one of the hardest levels in the run is the fact that you will be nervous, you will be shaking, your pressure will be high. If you're not calm during this level, you can easily mess stuff up. So it's a good idea to really practice this level, get it ingrained into your muscle memory and whatnot, and make sure that every so often, if you're not making it to 8 castle, just give it a run through also to see if you still can do it, because sometimes you'll go through a really long stint of not getting to 8 castle or even world 8, and you'll get a little bit like dry. You'll forget how to, like your muscle memory will forget how to do this. So it's always good to just go back, see if you can do it. If you're messing something up, then you know that's a sign that you need to practice it again, and it was just a good sign that you didn't accidentally enter the level without having it ingrained again into your memory. So now that I have all that stuff finished, let's start off the video. So 8 castle is not a relatively hard level again, as I said. Coming up though, we do have probably the hardest trick in the first section. So this first section is all just platforming. It's all platforming, it's all decently awkward if you've never played like 5-3 or anything. It's not hard though. There's one hard trick coming up. Actually, this first jump here, I'll go back 10 seconds. This first jump here, this first jumps here, so these two, this is an easy jump. I don't know why I'm stopping here. This jump here, from this platform to here, if you saw I jumped from like the very edge of the platform, you can see that I'm like basically about to run off, and I've jumped off the very edge of the platform there. That's just something I've gotten used to. That's something I do myself. A lot of runners will recommend, and I even recommend myself, is to do a triple jump. So to do a triple jump, you just jump from here. That gives you the first jump. That'll be a double jump, and then the triple jump here, and that makes this miles easier. Here's the part that is probably the hardest part of the first 2 sections, and probably the hardest part of castle. To me, if I mess this part up in a run, that means I'm gonna mess up 8 castle, which means I start to freak out a lot. If I get this, it actually kind of makes me feel a lot less nervous and a lot more pressure. It like calms me down a bit. So the idea here is we need to get a triple jump. And the main ways you get a triple jump is you either run along a platform for a little bit so you can deactivate any prior jumps or whatnot. That's how I'm going to refer to it, by the way. After that little bit of running, you then jump and then jump again and then jump again. And your third jump will be a triple jump, of course. That's not the case here. There's not enough room here. Even if you land on the very edge of this platform, there's not enough room to just run a little bit and then activate your double jump, your triple jump and whatnot. So you have to go for another strat, and it's really cool in this game. Anytime you land from a crouch and then jump uncrouched, it'll always be a double jump. So we use this here. So we do a crouch jump and then a double jump and then a triple jump, as you see there. That is difficult because not only do you have to get the triple jump, which can be a little tricky to get to understand, but you also have to triple jump from, like, you see this line here on the platform. You have to triple jump from just on that line. As you see, I've landed on that line there. And if you get it on the very last frame that you can jump off the platform, it actually cancels out your triple jump, and it's really annoying. It's really annoying when you do that. Fortunately, you will just scrape along this platform and then you can just fly over. If you don't feel confident doing this crouch triple jump, which I can definitely understand lower level runners not being confident with it, you can just like do a jump off the edge of this platform and then fly over everything. And that gets you to the end. So once you land on this platform, you run off of it, and you will fall and land on this platform without touching any of these fire bars, which is nice game design, Nintendo. And then this final jump here is still difficult in and of itself, because if you jump too early, you're not going to make it. So you have to jump from the very edge of the platform. As you saw, like I was standing off the edge there, and then I jumped. and then you make it onto the platform. It's a lot. That one's a little more lenient than some of the other ones in this level, but that's pretty much it for that crouch triple jump in section. Now we get to this little firebar section, which is relatively easy. So in this first part, you have to pull up a bit, or else you are going to just run into this firebar. So you pull yourself up. A lot of runners will just stop. I like to do a little jump and then like have my backwards momentum carry me onto this platform and then run. As you see, I play it really close to the firebar. That's more of a swag thing. You don't actually have to be that close. The firebar can be all the way up here and you'll be fine. You won't actually be losing time because you still have to pull up for these two firebars. It's impossible to skip these two firebars. Two-player mode, no matter what, it's just impossible to do it. So here you do another pull-up. Depending on how much you pulled up on the first one over here, you don't actually have to pull up as much. But because I was really early on mine, I have to pull up a lot more. And then it's just a matter of crouch jumping through here. So I've played this really tight for optimization. You don't have to play it this tight. This firebar is not tight at all at this point in time. However, and this is important, if you are too fast through this entire section, you'll get hit by the Podoboo in the next section. So you kind of need to understand how fast you're going and how like everything is working around you. This part is not hard. Just a matter of like here, you don't want to be too close to this side because these firebars will hit you. So like just go up this side of this of these semi-solid platforms. And then this Podoboo here was the Podoboo I was talking about. So yeah, as again, if you're too fast through this section, this Podoboo comes up as you start running towards it. If you're too fast, you'll be already running towards and dropping. And if you drop, you'll hit the Podoboo. There's no stopping it. Even if the Podoboo's here, you'll still get hit for some reason. We don't know why. Hitboxes are weird. So yeah, from this section, it's really easy from now on. You just run here, do a crouch fall. So crouch fall is when you crouch off the edge of a platform like this. And you'll actually avoid this. And again, to show off that crouch jump, if you fall, even if you fall from a crouch jump, if you, the next jump you do, if you jump, as soon as you land without crouching, it'll always be a double jump, as you see there. And then you just run down these two platforms, and then you jump off the edge of this one. Even if you land, if you were to run off this, if this Podoboo wasn't here, you would land on that platform. Unfortunately, the Podoboo comes up at just the wrong time that you can't run onto this platform. So yeah, you just do a full jump from this platform, and you'll land on this one just fine every time. Alright, this section, it's impossible to skip this little part, so you have to just ride it for a bit. This firebar is coming around at the worst possible time. Like, it could have been like here when we were running through, but no, we have to wait for it. Again, you just wait here. Then you just, I think I do this wrong in this video. Yeah, I do it wrong. The more optimal way to do that last section there is to jump onto this platform here, run off of it, and then fly up and try and bonk your head on here. You see where this line here is? You want to get your head to hit there, and you'll bonk just enough. Yeah, see, I do it there actually just fine, and I get a 656. But you want to like, you want to get it so that when you fly, you're bonking your head from this point onwards, so that you just nip up a little bit and then fall onto the pipe. Like that. See, that is the most optimal way to get into that pipe. If you're too early, as long as you're not way too early, like this line, you'll land onto this platform here, and you can just jump on there. If you're too late, sorry, it's fine. You'll just have to spin drill down into there. So that's pretty much it for the first section. This next section here is the infamous like lava auto-scroller descent. Unfortunately, I can't really do a tutorial for this exact part because everyone does it so similarly. Like, everybody does it differently. It's one of these parts where you just got to find a strategy that works for you, that you can get into the pipe pretty optimally, and it looks cool. But I strongly recommend just checking out a bunch of runners. I know Uvideo has his own method, Fadevanity, of course, DCA, and like anyone in the top 10 even. Just checking out how they do it first, and then kind of developing your own way to do it. This section here, known as the Corridor of Shame, you have to dodge these fireballs, and this part here is usually really easy to go through without stopping, because there's no like hole in the floor that obstructs your movement, so you can just run for a little bit. So if like, say the fireball is here and here, you could jump over this one and then jump over that one easily without any worries. So this is really easy, this one, to avoid. It's the second lot of fireballs here that are pretty annoying to avoid. So there are a few patterns that suck. This was a good pattern. So anytime a fireball, so actually let me play it out a bit. Oh god. So anytime, as you see here, so anytime the fireball is on the bottom in the middle, then you can avoid any of these patterns because you jump over the fireball and the pit at the same time. As you can see, I've crouch jumped. Crouch jumping through here is such a huge help. It mitigates the chance of A, you getting hit by a fireball, and B, it kind of slows you down a little bit as well if you're not attuned to like keeping your momentum with crouch jumps. But you can avoid these fireballs pretty easily. So even if it was here, I'd just fall under there and then jump over this. The only patterns that you can't 100% dodge without stopping is when there's a fireball. When there's a fireball, when both fireballs are here. So like on the bottom on this row and the bottom on this row, and then there's a fireball up here on this row. You just can't do it. Because you'd need this platform, because if you jump over this one and then jump over this one, you'd need a platform there, and there's a hole there, unfortunately. And you can't do a full jump over it if there's a fireball there. You'll never see the fireballs in the same position 2 times in a row. So if it's bottom, middle, top, the next one is not going to be in the same position as this one was. That's something to keep in mind as well. This part, if you have propeller, and I must add, if you have propeller, this fight is easy. You just, as you see here, you just fly as early as possible and then just let yourself fall onto the switch. Alright, so this is the second part. So escape is not hard. It looks difficult and it seems difficult, but it's not hard. It's something that you really need to get your head around before you do it, but it's not hard. If you don't properly learn escape though, you will lose a lot of time. It's one of those things that you just, everything in the cycles works out when you do it correctly. So this tutorial, this part here will tell you how to do that, of course. So starting off, everyone knows the infamous fireballs section. This takes its toll on a lot of runners, especially ones that have not really prepared this or learnt it properly. So Bowser here, so if you don't know, Bowser will shoot fireballs and they will break the wall and you jump through them. You manipulate the fireballs by jumping to a specific height when Bowser fires them. And depending on how high you were when he shoots them, depends on where the fireball will go. So you really want to get them to be lined up so that they don't really deviate too much from their path and they head towards the walls that you want to break. So here you see me crouch jumping. Crouch jumping at the peak of your crouch jump at this point in time is the perfect height for Bowser's fireball. So you see me do a crouch jump. So Bowser is starting to nod his head back like this. That means he's about to shoot a fireball, and as you see, he's lifted up and that's when I've jumped. And then he shoots his fireball while I'm about in this area here, which is good. This fireball is going to travel now and break this part of the wall. So you see the fireball travels, and I've jumped again because, of course, you need to shoot more fireballs, there's more walls to break. But you see this fireball is coming in, and it'll break this wall at just the right part, and now there's a big enough hole for me to jump through. So you see here, so now that there's a hole here, and this actually really nicely sets up, the hardest fireball in this first 3 is the second one. Once this fireball breaks, it actually sets up, once the fireball hits the wall, that's when you jump. And all you need to do is jump and hold forward, and then jump off here and then start running forward. This will manipulate Bowser to start doing some swipes because you're not close enough for his fireballs to affect you, and that'll bring him forward a bit, which is good, we want that. This second fireball, however, is starting to deviate up, but it should be fine considering this wall is pretty open and this hole is pretty big. And this one will come through and break this wall here. So that's the first 3 fireballs. They're pretty self-explanatory. Next, you want to set yourself up somewhere in this range here. So from this line here to here. I set myself up here. I usually set myself up over the top of this line for personal reasons. But you want to be able to see Bowser's head, because Bowser's head is how you manipulate the fireballs. It's how you determine when a fireball is, like when you should jump. And you don't want to be too close to Bowser, or else he's gonna start shooting another fireball, because you want to start moving as soon as he shoots his 3rd fireball from this part. So the idea is you want to go 3, 3, 1, and that's the fastest pattern. So here I've set myself up. Bowser's gonna do the swipes like usual. Again, setting myself up so that when Bowser's head nods back, I then jump, and that's when he shoots. Again, another nod back. He shoots at the perfect height. These fireballs are fine. And then on the 3rd one, I need to set myself up here. There's no setup on the wall breaking or anything. You just have to set yourself up here so that Bowser will fire his fireball. So you do the normal setup where his head nods back and that's when you jump. Sets up these fireballs. But on that 3rd one, you want to start running forward. If you stick around for a 4th one, this fireball will despawn and not break the wall. Or if you're lucky enough, it will just hit the wall and break enough of it that you can jump through, and then the other 2, 3 can come through. But it's just easier to do this. So you start running forward. This platform should perfectly make you fall onto this thing, given the timing you gave it. I do a little turn back here, as you saw. So let me just try and play that again. You see I've done a little turn back. That's just to guarantee I jump onto this. Sometimes this pillar is a little higher, but because my 3rd one in the first set was a little lower, this pillar is lower as well. But sometimes a little higher, so you just have to hop over it. And then here you kind of have to wait for this fireball to break the wall. So again, pausing a bit, waiting for the fireball to break the wall. Then you jump through, and you want to line yourself up, as you can see here, on this line here. This line here is a really good setup line, because you're not going to get hit by this fireball, and the other fireball you spawned is behind Bowser's head. Bowser will jump. He will jump, and if you go here fast enough, if you start running towards this side fast enough, he will jump. If you're too slow, he'll do a couple swipes. He might start shooting fireballs again. That's not good. Because when you get here, Bowser will do a roar. He will then nod his head back at this point here, and then you jump again, setting up the final fireball you need, and look at how close these 2 fireballs are. That's wonderful. After that, you can start running towards the end, jumping on this platform here actually. This fireball will just break this wall, and you actually fall through there. Mario is not getting hit here because the fireball's technically despawned, his hitbox is gone, all that's left is the effect. And that's all. Any other fireball doesn't matter, this is the final wall you need to break. So then Mario just has to wait for a bit. A good idea is whenever this one hits the wall and despawns, you want to do a full jump. Just do a full jump either way. If you do a small jump, you might not make it over the whatever height this thing is. It might be lower, it might be taller. Just do a full jump, it's safer. If for whatever reason, so that entire part there, you can do without propeller, pretty simply. If for whatever reason you don't have propeller, this question mark block here has a propeller in it. It's just a matter of ground pounding down onto it. So the first part of the platform section. So this is now the platform section, and this is the part that, I'm brutally honest, people really should learn. It's easy once you learn it. Learning it properly makes it 9 billion times easier. If you just wing it, thinking like, oh, it's not that hard, it doesn't look hard when they do it in the runs, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna lose heaps of time, you might do stuff. This game is notorious for dropping inputs at the worst time, so you might not get a spin that you might want, whatnot, and it's just a pain in the ass. So here, if you don't grab the propeller from here and you already have a propeller, you want to jump onto this platform and then jump onto this platform. You don't need to do the triple jump there. I do that triple jump mostly for swag, but you can just run off this platform, you'll land here just fine. Then you want to jump off of these ones, and you kind of want to get yourself lined up behind the halfway point on this platform. Anywhere on this half of the platform, you should be fine to land on this one. You need to find a setup. This is probably the hardest jump of this section, just because landing on this platform while it's underneath the whatever you call this, the thingo, can be really awkward for some. You just need to find just get comfortable with it. Do it a billion times. Just get comfortable with it. I honestly think it's not that hard once you learn it. However, say you were to get the propeller, because you've slowed down here, the platforms are actually going to be on a different cycle. So what you end up doing is this platform will be over here. So you just jump onto this one, and then you jump onto that one. Easy as pie, not that difficult. And it actually makes the jump that I was talking about here, this one here, a lot easier. It's really not that difficult. Coming up, here you want to do a triple jump. Just a triple jump here. I bonk my head into the roof here. Some people don't. Some people just land onto this platform and fall back and just run off the edge of it. It's really up to you, but what you need to do is you need to do a turn back here. Because if you continue going, you'll get stuck to this wall and you'll start slowly sliding down it, and that's not fun, because when you start doing that, this platform actually comes back around so that you can, comes back this way and you land on it. And if you turn back too much, you'll actually slide on this platform as well. If you bonk your head into the roof and feel that it's comfortable for you, you need to be careful, because whenever you hold neutral and you land from a triple jump, you get what is known as a pixel stop. And we don't know why it happens, but it just happens. They're really annoying when they do occur, and they're completely unavoidable. All you need to do, just wait a bit before you turn back, not hard. So as you hear, you do a fly here, bonk your head onto here, and then do a little spin drill down onto here. You don't want to do a full spin drill. If you do a full spin drill, you lose momentum, you can't start going forward. You probably know that already. So just a small spin drill, get out of it as early as possible. So just a quick down up on your D-pad or thumbstick, whatever you want to call it. And then start running again. Here is now just pretty easy, not too difficult stuff. This platform here, don't be fooled by this one. Do never be fooled by this platform here. He is just going to make you go slow. If you jump onto him, there's no way to fall down here fast. You just have to grind along this wall. So you just do a hop. It is safer to go onto that platform just because you have more room on this. But just do a hop onto here. If you don't make it, there's like just enough room to get a fly through. But it's really annoying, so just making sure, jumping off maybe the edge of this platform or somewhere near the edge, and you'll land on here just fine. Making sure not to land onto this platform. If you feel that that's going to be too difficult for you, just land on this platform, let yourself fall onto this one. Easy as pie. So then here, once you're running along here, you just want to shake your Wii remote while running on this platform. You'll start bonking your head on here, continue to hold right. If you start pulling back too early, as you see this platform is coming back, so you'll just be able to land on it. But wait a little bit and then start holding left as soon as you're guaranteed that you're around here. Again, this is just another thing you can get used to pretty easily. It's honestly not hard. One wall kick here will take you out of flying motion and land you onto this platform. Then it's just a matter of jumping onto this one, jumping onto this mini platform, onto this one, running a little bit on this one. If you land on this one earlier and start running, you actually get a little bit of a speed boost. Then jumping onto this one. I like to say just stay high. Just stay high through this section. You want to actually skip this platform. Just do a full jump here, and you fall down here. If you're a bit too high, you're going to rub on here, but that's not too bad. And then here, wait. Do not go early. If you go too early, you will not make it, because this part here, you have to let yourself pop up a bit and then fall here. So a good idea is to fly so that you hit your head after this line here. Doesn't matter, well, it's more optimal to get it so that you land on this platform as early as possible, but for all purposes, just try and get it so that you're before this line here most of the time. As you see, I have plenty of room to land onto the platform and jump. And then you just land on that platform, do a full jump, and you're good. There is another strat you can do right at the end here that saves a bit of time. Instead of just letting yourself fall down, you can start pulling back at around about this point. Mario's momentum will be carried a bit to the right, but he'll pop up and he'll start going to the left at that point. And you're then against the wall, you just do a wall kick and then jump off of this platform here at the edge. And that is 1 in-game second faster than just waiting here. And that's it. That's escape pretty much done. Again, nothing too difficult per se. It's just a lot of awkward movements and awkward timings. But once you start to get used to these timings, it becomes a whole lot easier and a whole lot just a whole lot easier to do. And I really highly recommend just practicing the hell out of 8 Castle, doing a few ILs. But yeah, that does it for 8 Castle. If you've got any questions, just ask the Discord, and that's all.